Be me. 42, HR director at tech company in Austin, Texas. Total comp $165,000 plus equity that's probably never vesting. Drive a Tesla Model Y because of course I do. Apartment is filled with books about dismantling patriarchy. LinkedIn bio says transforming workplace culture one policy at a time. Been in this role for 18 months, promoted from senior HR manager. Company is mid-sized software firm, about 600 employees. Make enterprise collaboration tools, boring but profitable. Engineering department is the problem, as usual. 200 engineers, 85% male, mostly white and Asian. Classic tech bro environment when I arrived. Ping pong tables, beer on tap, Marvel posters everywhere. My job is to fix this, to drag them into 2024. CEO is Mark, 50s, former engineer turned businessman. He's nervous about optics, about lawsuits, about being on the right side of history. Perfect, he's malleable, he wants to be liked. I can work with that, I've been working with that. First year was groundwork, mandatory trainings, policy updates, unconscious bias workshops, microaggression reporting systems, new inclusive language guidelines, pronoun requirements. The usual resistance from engineering, lots of eye rolling. But they complied because they had to, because HR has the power. Year 2 is when I really started to move pieces on the board. Engineering has leadership positions opening up, 3 senior roles. Team leads, architects, positions that come with $180,000 plus salaries. Traditional promotion process is a joke, it's just a boys' club. Managers pick people who fit the culture, which means people like them. I convinced Mark to let me redesign the promotion framework. We need to ensure equity in advancement opportunities. Mark, our leadership doesn't reflect our values or our customer base. Show him statistics about diverse teams performing better. Made up? Selectively sourced? Who can tell anymore? He buys it. New promotion policy gets rolled out via company-wide email. I write it carefully, lawyer-approved language, nothing obviously illegal, to address historical imbalances and create equitable pathways. Promotion committees will prioritize candidates from underrepresented groups. When qualifications are comparable, preference given to diversity candidates. That last line is the key, when qualifications are comparable. Because I get to decide what comparable means. I control the promotion committee, I set the criteria, I run the process. Engineering leadership is annoyed, but can't argue openly. Any pushback gets labeled as resistance to equity. Anyone who questions gets a concerned email about their growth areas. The power is intoxicating, not going to lie. First promotion cycle under new policy starts. 3 senior engineering positions, 2 team leads, 1 principal architect. Applications come in, I review them with my committee. Committee is me plus 2 other HR people I picked, plus 1 engineering manager who knows better than to disagree with me. Male candidates are strong on paper, multiple have 8 to 10 years experience. Led major projects, shipped products, mentored juniors, clear technical depth. Female candidates are newer, 3 to 5 years experience mostly. Good performers, but haven't led anything major yet. Under old system, the experienced men would get it easily. Under my system, we're correcting historical wrongs. I create a new rubric, weight things differently. Leadership potential scores higher than demonstrated leadership. Cultural fit, which I define as embraces inclusive values. Growth trajectory, which means newer employees get bonus points. Suddenly the women candidates score higher. It's beautiful. Committee meeting is quick, outcomes predetermined. These 3 women show the most promise for leadership. They bring fresh perspectives that engineering desperately needs. Engineering manager, Tom, pushes back slightly. Sarah is great, but she's only been here 2 years. This role needs someone who knows the legacy systems. That's exactly the kind of thinking that perpetuates inequality, Tom. We're not looking for carbon copies of existing leaders. We're building the future, not cloning the past. Tom goes quiet, doesn't want to be labeled as resistant. I know his performance review is coming up. He knows it too. Promotions get announced. 3 women get the senior roles. Engineering department goes eerily quiet. No complaints in writing. Just a lot of private Slack messages I'm not seeing probably. Couple of the passed over men request feedback meetings. I meet with them, prepared with my talking points. One guy, David, been here 9 years, strong technical record. I'm confused about why I wasn't selected. I have twice the experience. David, this isn't about years served. It's about leadership capability. The selected candidates demonstrated stronger, inclusive leadership values. Also, we need to address historical gender imbalances in senior roles. He's trying to stay professional. I can see him choosing words carefully. I understand diversity is important, but shouldn't experience matter too? Are you suggesting the women who were promoted aren't qualified? No. I'm asking about the criteria that were used. The criteria are confidential to ensure fairness and avoid bias. He leaves looking defeated. Good. He should examine his privilege. Another guy, James, similar conversation, similar outcome. He actually tears up a little, says he thought this was his year. I feel a twinge of something, but push it down. This is bigger than individual feelings. This is systemic change. Next promotion cycle. 6 months later, same pattern. 2 more senior roles open. I run the same process. Again, women with less experience get promoted over men with more. This time the murmuring is louder. People are clearly talking. One of the senior male engineers, Robert, requests meeting with Mark. Mark tells me about it afterward, looks uncomfortable. Robert says the men feel like they're being discriminated against. He says the promotion process isn't transparent or fair. I deploy the defense, the one that always works. Mark, this is classic privilege backlash to equity initiatives. When you're used to unfair advantages, equality feels like oppression. If Robert has concerns, he should examine why he feels threatened by women's success. Mark nods slowly. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Should I be worried about legal issues, though? Not at all. Our policy is legally sound. It's about equity, not quotas. We're simply correcting historical imbalances. Court support that. Another lie, another half-truth, but he accepts it. What I don't know is that the engineers are talking, comparing notes. What I don't know is that they're documenting everything. What I don't know is that they're not stupid, they're fucking engineers. They know how to collect data, how to analyze patterns, how to build cases. Month 14 of my Equity in Promotions initiative. I've overseen 5 promotion cycles, pushed through 11 women into senior roles. Meanwhile, 23 men with stronger qualifications were passed over. My system is working perfectly. Leadership is slowly rebalancing. Get email from Mark's assistant. CEO wants to see you. 2 p.m. today. Bring legal. Wait, bring legal? That's weird. We usually include legal and policy discussions. But why would Mark's assistant phrase it that way? Show up at 2 p.m., Mark's office, expected to see just Mark and our general counsel. Instead, there's Mark, our GC, 2 people I don't recognize in suits, and 5 senior male engineers sitting stone-faced along the wall. Robert, David, James, and 2 others I've had tense conversations with. My stomach drops. This is an ambush. Mark looks miserable, won't make eye contact. Please sit down, the general counsel says. Her tone is arctic. One of the suits speaks, man in his 60s, expensive watch. I'm Richard Chun, outside counsel retained by a group of your employees. This is my colleague Amanda Rodriguez. We specialize in employment discrimination. Oh fuck, this is really bad. These 5 gentlemen, plus 18 others, have retained us to represent them in a matter concerning systematic discrimination in your promotion process. My hands are shaking. I grip the chair arms to steady them. That's absurd. Our promotion process prioritizes equity and inclusion. Richard pulls out a document. It's thick, has to be 100+ pages. Yes, let's discuss your equity process. He opens to a tab. It's a spreadsheet, color-coded, detailed. Over the past 18 months, you've overseen 5 promotion cycles. resulting in 11 promotions to senior engineering positions. All 11 went to women, 0 went to men. I try to interrupt. That's because we were correcting. Let me finish. His voice is steel. During this same period, 34 engineers applied for these positions. 23 were men, 11 were women. 100% of women who applied were promoted. 0% of men who applied were promoted. He flips to another tab. This one has performance data. Here are the average performance review scores for the past 3 years. Male applicants who were rejected, 4.3 out of 5. Female applicants who were promoted, 3.7 out of 5. Another tab, years of experience. Male applicants average, 8.4 years. Female applicants average, 3.2 years. Another tab, major projects led. Male applicants average, 6.7 projects. Female applicants average, 1.9 projects. He's methodically destroying me with data, engineer's revenge. In every objective measure of qualification and performance, the male applicants exceeded the female applicants significantly. Yet 0 men were promoted and all women were promoted. I'm sweating now, literally feel drops on my forehead. Our process considers multiple factors beyond just technical. Yes, let's discuss your process. Amanda takes over. She's even scarier. She pulls out printed emails, my emails to committee members. Here's an email you sent to the promotion committee, dated March 15th. She reads it aloud, my own words condemning me. We need to be intentional about increasing women in leadership. If we don't promote Sarah, we'll have another all-male senior team. Let's make sure we can justify our diversity choice. My face is burning. I don't remember writing that explicitly. Another email from your Slack messages to HR team members. She reads it. These men have had their turn running things. It's time for women to have the opportunities they've been denied. I don't care if they have more years. Years of privilege don't count. Oh God, I did write that. Thought Slack was private. Another document. These are notes from promotion committee meetings. Taken by Tom Harris, the engineering manager on your committee. She reads directly. When Tom raised concerns about experience gaps, you stated, and I quote, "We're not promoting based on old boys club metrics. We're promoting based on who will change the culture, which means women." Tom is sitting against the wall. He's the one who documented everything. He's looking at me with something between pity and satisfaction. Richard takes back over. We also have the promotion rubrics you created. Pulls out the scoring sheets I designed. You weighted leadership potential at 40% of the score, while demonstrated leadership was only 15%. You weighted cultural fit at 30%, which you defined in meetings as commitment to equity and inclusion. He looks at me directly. In practice, this meant being a woman, because in every single case, women scored higher on these subjective measures, while men scored higher on objective measures like technical skill and experience. And in every single case, the women were promoted. Amanda jumps back in. We've also documented the chilling effect. 23 male engineers have left the company in the past 18 months. Exit interviews, which we subpoenaed, show a pattern. She read from exit interview notes. Don't see a path forward here as a man. Watching less qualified people get promoted because of gender. Feel like my work doesn't matter. Only my demographics matter. Mark finally speaks. His voice is shaking. Is this all true? Did you really do this? I try to mount a defense. I was implementing equity initiatives. We talked about this. You approved the policy framework. You knew we were trying to increase women in leadership. Richard cuts in. Having diversity goals is legal. Having illegal quotas is not legal. Systematically excluding qualified candidates based on gender is not legal. You didn't create equity, you created a discriminatory quota system. Our general counsel speaks for the first time. Looks sick. The exposure here is significant, potentially millions in damages. Across 23 passed over employees, plus the ones who left. plus punitive damages if we go to trial and lose. She looks at Mark. We need to settle this immediately. Mark looks at me, something breaking in his expression. Did you know this was illegal? Did you know you were discriminating? I'm crying now, can't help it. I was trying to fix inequality. The system was biased against women. I was correcting it. Robert speaks up from a wall. His voice is calm but hard. You didn't correct bias. You reversed it. You didn't create fairness. You created a different unfairness. You punished us for what other men did in other companies. David adds, I have a daughter. I want her to have opportunities. But I also want to be judged on my work, not my gender. You made gender the only thing that mattered. James, the one who cried in my office, his voice cracks. I gave 9 years to this company. I'm good at what I do. You told me my experience was privilege that didn't count. You told me my work was less valuable because I'm a man. Richard stands up. Here's what's going to happen. My clients are willing to settle this matter privately. In exchange for full back pay for denied promotions, $80,000 each. Formal apology from the company acknowledging discrimination. Revision of all promotion policies with external oversight. And the immediate termination of the HR director responsible. He looks at me. That's you. Mark doesn't even hesitate. Done, all of it, whatever you need. He turns to me. You're fired, effective immediately. You need to leave the building today. You'll get severance terms from legal. I try to stand. Legs are shaking. Mark, please, we can fix this. You discriminated against our employees for 18 months. You cost this company potentially millions of dollars. You destroyed our reputation and violated the law. There's nothing to fix. You're done. Security is called. Same security guard I used to boss around. He won't look at me as he escorts me out. Walk through the office in a daze. People stare. My desk has already been packed. IT kill my access. Box of personal items sitting there. Plants, books, framed diplomas. All those degrees, all that training, and I'm carrying it out in shame. Drive home crying. Can't even see the road properly. Get to apartment. Open laptop. Check LinkedIn. Already I see messages from recruiter connections. Hey, saw the news. So sorry to hear. Hope you're okay. News? What news? Check Twitter. Tech company settles with male employees over promotion discrimination. Article is already written. Must have been embargoed. Waiting to drop. My name is in it. Quotes from the settlement announcement. HR director terminated for implementing discriminatory promotion policies. Comments are brutal. Absolutely savage. This is what happens when equity becomes revenge. Discriminating against men to help women is still discrimination. Another example of DI policies going too far. Even other HR professionals are piling on. This is why we need objective criteria and documentation. This person gave all of us a bad name. Check my bank account. Do math on expenses. Mortgage, car payment, student loans, regular spending. I have maybe 4 months of savings if I'm careful. Start sending out applications immediately, same day. HR director roles, VP of people roles, culture positions. Nothing, absolutely nothing, radio silence. 2 weeks later, first rejection comes in. We've decided to move forward with other candidates. Given the current circumstances, we don't think it's a fit. Circumstances, they mean my name being radioactive. Google my name. The settlement article is first result. Second result is a Medium post someone wrote. Case study, how one HR director's bias destroyed careers. Third result is a Reddit thread with 10,000 upvotes. HR director fired for discriminating against men. Here's what we can learn. Month 2. Savings are draining faster than expected. Had to pay my share of legal fees from the settlement. Company isn't covering my portion. I was terminated for cause. Start applying for lower-level roles. Senior HR manager, HR business partner. Still nothing. Even people I thought were friends aren't returning calls. One former colleague is honest with me over coffee. Look, nobody wants to touch you right now. Every HR team is terrified of doing what you did. You're literally used in training now as what not to do. Give it a few years. Maybe things will blow over. A few years? I don't have a few years of savings. Month 3, getting desperate now. Apply for HR coordinator roles, HR administrator roles, even HR assistant positions at small companies. One place calls me in for interview, startup, 40 people. Interview goes okay until the CEO asks about my last role. I see you were HR director at company name. Why did you leave? I practiced this answer. There was a policy disagreement. I implemented diversity initiatives that the leadership felt went too far. He looks at me. I read the articles. You discriminated against men. The promoted candidates were qualified. We were correcting imbalances. By systematically excluding men, creating quotas, violating the law. He's not hostile, just matter of fact, which somehow makes it worse. Here's my concern. How do I know you won't do that here? I learned from the experience I would approach things differently. That's not a very convincing answer. Honestly, I don't get the job. I don't get any job. Month 4, completely out of money. Missed mortgage payment, car payment, everything bouncing. Have to move out of apartment. Back to my mother's house at 42. She's sympathetic, but also, I told you to be careful with that stuff. I was trying to help women, try to make things fair. By being unfair to men? How did you think that would end? She's right. Everyone's right. I fucked up royally. Start applying for anything, retail, administrative assistant, receptionist. Finally get hired at a dental office, front desk, $18 an hour. It's humiliating, going from $165,000 to $18 an hour. From directing policy to answering phones and filing insurance claims. But I need the money, need the health insurance. First day, training with the office manager. She's 28. She recognizes me. I can see in her eyes. Did you work in tech HR before? She asks carefully. Yes, for a while. Needed a change. That makes sense, she says, and I know she knows. Months pass. It's soul-crushing work. Not because it's hard, but because I know what I used to be, what I used to have. Sit at the desk checking people in, mind wandering. Think about all those promotion decisions, all those passed over men. Convince myself I was correcting injustice, creating equity. Really just created a different injustice, different victims. David, 9 years of good work, told his experience didn't matter. James, crying in my office, told to examine his privilege. Robert, raising a daughter he wanted to see succeed fairly. All of them watching less experienced people get promoted over them. Not because of merit, not because of potential, just because of gender. I became what I thought I was fighting against. Became the person making decisions based on demographics, not qualifications. Told myself it was different because I was helping the marginalized. But discrimination is discrimination, even when you think you're righteous. Even when you convince yourself you're on the right side of history. 6 months into working the front desk, one of the engineers walks in. It's David, here for a dental appointment. My heart stops, want to hide, want to disappear. He sees me, recognition flashes across his face. Walks up to the desk, I need to check in. Hand him the clipboard, name and date of birth. He fills it out, hand it back, our eyes meet. You're working here now? He asks, not cruel, just curious. Yeah, needed a job. This one was available. He nods slowly. How's it going? It's fine, it's honest work. That's good, he says, and he means it. No sarcasm detected. Awkward silence. Then he speaks quietly. For what it's worth, I didn't want you to be fired. I just wanted fair treatment, wanted the promotion I earned. Feel tears starting, blink them back. I'm sorry, I really am. I thought I was helping, thought I was fixing inequality. You weren't fixing it. You were just moving it around. He's right, painfully, obviously right. The company's better now, by the way, he continues. They brought in new HR leadership, completely redid the promotion system. It's actually fair now, based on performance and skill. Women are still getting promoted, just based on merit. He looks at me directly. That's what we wanted all along. Not 0 women in leadership, just fair evaluation. You could have given us that without breaking the law. Dennis calls his name. He stands up. Take care of yourself, he says, and walks back. Sit there for a minute, staring at the schedule. He's right. They all were right. I just couldn't see it. Couldn't see past my ideology, my certainty that I was correct. Thought merit was a tool of the patriarchy. Thought objective standards were inherently biased. Thought the only way to help women was to hurt men. 1 year after being fired, still at the dental office. Still living with my mom. Still making $18 an hour. Student loans and forbearance, credit score destroyed. No prospects of getting back into HR, maybe ever. See article online. Former company posts record profits. New engineering leadership driving innovation. Quotes from the female engineers who were promoted. We're grateful for the opportunities, but want them to be earned. The old system was discriminatory. The new system is fair. Even the women I promoted are distancing themselves from my approach. They wanted to succeed on merit, not because of my thumb on the scale. My favoritism tainted their achievements, made people question them. I hurt everyone, the men I discriminated against and the women I thought I was helping. Get text from old colleague, saw they're hiring HR coordinator, maybe try. Check the posting, it's at a small nonprofit, $45,000. Used to make almost 4x that. Now this feels aspirational. Apply anyway. Put the termination and settlement in my cover letter. Explain what I did, why it was wrong, what I learned. Don't get a call back. Probably never will. That's my life now. This is what I am. Cautionary tale and front desk receptionist. Patients come in, I check them in, I file their insurance. Sometimes they're young women with careers in tech, talking on phones about work. I hear them discussing promotions, opportunities, leadership roles. Want to tell them my story? Want to warn them about how easy it is to convince yourself you're righteous. About how good intentions don't justify discrimination. About how ideology can blind you to your own biases. But I don't say anything, just hand them clipboards. Please update your information and sign at the bottom. My advice isn't wanted. My experience isn't valuable. I'm just the woman at the front desk who used to be somebody. Who used to have power and used it badly. Who thought she was building equity but built injustice. Who learned too late that discrimination doesn't become justice. Just because you change who the victims are. Still live in mom's house. Still make $18 an hour. Still Google my name. Sometimes still see those articles. Still get sick feeling in stomach reading the comments. But mostly just get through days checking people in. Taking copays, answering phones, doing honest work. Not changing the world, not fighting for causes. Just surviving the consequences of my certainty. That's my life. That's what I built. With my equity initiatives and promotion policies. With my conviction that I was correcting history. Really just repeating it with different victims. And now I'm here, 42 years old, starting over from nothing. Because I thought being righteous mattered more than being fair. Because I thought good intentions justified bad actions. Because I thought discrimination was okay if I was doing it. And learned the hard way, at the cost of everything, that it's not.